I am very excited for the next Super EZA. And if you know that one character I sim for, you already know how this works, alright? The next character to EZA, back in 20 whatever, after Super Saiyan 3 Goku, was in fact STR Broly. So, in this video, I would love to show you what I cooked up for this character's not supposed, because we know it's happening, but his eventual Super EZA. And dude, I had to use this EZA as a baseline. This guy literally went from 2 lines. He went from a 0 to, look at this. He went from 2 lines to this. So, I mean, I don't really want to hear anything, all right? And, you know, as much as I love Broly, I could have gone crazier. I'll say that right now. I could have definitely gone crazier, but I wanted to take the fact that he got massively buffed in his kit. I wanted to also copy the you know, buffs, like the ally buffs, and kind of implement that for Broly as well, because Broly doesn't have the greatest links, so we have to, you know, fix that somehow. Let me just show you what I cooked up. And if you enjoy this video, consider subscribing. You know how the whole ordeal goes. And yeah, so let's just hop into it. So when it comes to Broly, after his EZA in 1986, he literally just has attack and defense plus 80% when attacking. And that is, you know, obviously bad. His super attack does do damage to all enemies, so I can understand if they do tailor it down a bit in terms of his attack, but for the sake of this video, I do not care. Let me show you what I did for the Super EZA, okay? And I didn't change the super attack effect or leader skill because we know they don't do that. But yeah, so 3 key and 180% the stats. I think that's a very good baseline. Goku literally got 200%. I don't want to hear it. Plus an additional attack and defense plus 80% when attacking, kept the part the exact same. Launches 2 additional attacks and left it at that. Because he has an AoE, I did not want to turn these into chances to become super attacks. And also, if you give this guy full additional, each one of these attacks can possibly trigger that additional super attack. So just having this will allow you to see that additional super attack or just additional attack more often. Keep that in mind. Reduces damage received by 20% up to 40%. And all extreme class allies key +1 up to 2 per existing enemy. So if you're facing one enemy, he has a baseline of 20% damage reduction, and he's giving all allies 1 key. If you're facing 2 enemies, of course, it's 40% damage reduction, and then giving all allies 2 key, including himself. So he would be essentially receiving a total of 5 key from that. Plus an additional damage reduction of 10% up to 20, and all extreme class allies attack and defense plus 20% up to 40 per existing super class enemy. So if you're just facing one super class enemy, you're going to have a total of 30% damage reduction, so 20 and 10. And then you're basically giving all allies 1 key and 20% to attack and defense. But if you find yourself in a situation where you're facing at least 2 super class enemies, this Broly is going to have 60% to damage reduction, an extra 40% to stats, and 2 key to himself, but also will be giving all allies on the field 2 key and 40%. I said field like this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Been playing too much of that lately, but 2 key and 40% to attack and defense to all allies. So again, that's like a really good support ability. A Broly being able to support like that, I think, is super important because not fierce battle, sorry. Big bad boss is a massive loss on Broly characters. So I think having that 2 key 40% support, although conditional, not too hard to see honestly because of the blue zone stuff, but I think this is still a really good thing to see and would make you really want to say, okay, I really want to include this Broly on my team, right? High chance to perform a critical hit, which of course is very strong. When you have a 50% chance to crit, every attack you do becomes that much stronger. And Broly can launch up to 4 attacks in a turn, so keep that in mind. Like, you can easily see these additionals becoming crits, which when normal attacks are crits, it's a lot of damage that they end up doing, right? So attack plus 80%, and foresees enemy super attacks this character's turn only when facing a super class enemy. So, the way this works is this is basically an unlimited effect as long as this Broly's on the turn, right? So, we've seen, and I can give you actually a really good example. I think it's Target Goku. So, if I go to Target Goku and I pull up, let's say, a character like Android 13, and then I pull up a character like this right here, 14 and 15, right? So, when this character is linked up with 14 and 15, they have the ability to, wait, where is it? Okay, here. So, plus an additional attack and defense plus 90%, and foresee enemy super attacks for the rest of battle when your team has Android 18 attacking in the same turn. By the way, if I'm wheezing, it's allergy, so just letting you know. But this effect lingers even when 14 and 15 or even Android 13 aren't on rotation. So, let's say you're running a Target Goku category team, and your next rotation is just like a bunch of Friezas or whatever. You're still going to be able to foresee enemy super attacks, which of course is a very strong ability. And when it comes to this Broly, I'm not really doing that. I think that would be a little bit too OP. So what I'm doing is whenever this Broly is on not the field, but when he's on the rotation and there's a super class enemy, he's getting an extra 80% to attack, and he's foreseeing enemy super attacks, which of course is very strong. And then an additional attack and defense, just attack plus 80%. Guards all attacks, and all attacks become critical hits when facing an enemy whose name includes Goku. So let's just say, right, hypothetically, you are facing a Goku, one enemy, and that character is Goku. What would this Broly look like? Well, he'd have 3 ki, 180% to attack and defense. He would have a total of 30% damage reduction, 20 from facing one enemy, and 10 from facing a super class enemy. He'll also be giving all allies ki plus 1 and 20% to attack and defense. That also includes himself. So basically he'd be at 4 ki and 200% to attack and defense. Keep in mind, that's also with 30% damage reduction. He's also going to have an additional 80% to attack, and he's going to be foreseeing super attacks. He'll also have another 80% attack and guarding all attacks, and all attacks become critical hits. So you're at 160 attack here on top of your 2. That's basically 360% to attack while supporting, 30% damage reduction while you are guarding, and while you're launching up to 4 attacks in a turn, all attacks which are going to be critical hits. So Broly is of course the Goku, seeker and destroyer, which is why I basically included that effect at the end there. I think that when you're facing a Goku, this Broly should be at his absolute peak, and I think this is definitely going to, like, if you take away this, his kit is good, right? Nothing extremely OP, but without that guard, he's not really looking crazy, because he could go up to 60% damage reduction, but you got to be facing 2 superclass enemies to see that, right? So if you have 30% damage reduction and guarding while getting all of that, 180% to defense here, and the 80% defense when you're attacking there, and the extra defense here, I think this Broly is going to hit pretty hard. The crits, all the additionals, the proccing of that hidden potential one with the 3 attacks you're going to be doing. I think this Broly's pretty good, honestly. I mean, again, you could have gone a little bit harder. This Goku is very, very, very good. But when you look at this kit, like, you can't sit here and deny that it's like, like, I wouldn't call this Broly mid by any stretch of the imagination. He's just a utility character. He's a character that you have to put him in a specific situation, and when he's in that specific situation, he's going to shine. When we get a blue zone event where there's 2 superclass enemies, and when I say when, I'm saying like when Broly is in that situation, not if we actually get it, but when Broly's in that situation, he is going to be a demon, dude. He's going to be supporting 2 ki, 40% to himself and all allies, 60% damage reduction, guarding, over almost 400% to attack, because all of these procs are, they factor in a little bit differently. The crits, it's like you're not going to be able to really escape this Broly. Plus the AoE, keep that in mind too. It's an AoE effect. So he is not only, being buffed when facing multiple enemies, but he's also attacking both enemies at once, which just makes him extremely strong. Keep that in mind. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know what you think. If you want to see more, just discussion, fun videos like this with future potential, or not potential, but future Super EZA characters, let me know. Let me know who you'd like to see next, potentially maybe Physical Kid Buu. I'd love to do a video like that. I'll see you in the next one. Please take care of yourself, and peace.